What is shaking, everybody? Happy Monday to ya. As you can see, we have two guests today. Brent Jones will be on later, but Jeremy Affeldt, three-time World Series champ, joining us. We're going to talk a little Giants, a little baseball. His book that I think just came out, Built for the Storm. Ironically, I'm in a storm. He's built for the storm. I'm broadcasting from the storm. It's rainy, it's windy, and like if this thing goes haywire, then it goes haywire. But I was like, I'm not giving up on doing the show from outside just yet. I'm probably gonna have to at some time, Jeremy, but I like being out here and I like doing the show from out here. So I'm like, screw it. If I can do it out here, we're doing it out here. How you been, man?
Home? Is this at home?
It is at home in the backyard.
Oh man. Getting some rain. I don't remember that ever at that time of year.
Oh yeah. Come on, we get rain in Northern California. You know that.
Oh well, that's true. I forgot about that.
I mean, you're only here during the summers.
That's true. That's true. that's true.
You bailed. Good. I mean, the latest you were here was what, October?
Yeah, it was like about Halloween.
You're gone.
Right at Halloween is the latest we'd be. I think remember doing some Halloween in the World Series, and that was it.
Yeah, and then you'd go to Spokane generally after that, wouldn't you?
Yep, went right into the snow. It was super awesome. So I went from playing baseball to being handed a shovel and saying, shovel our driveway. Pretty cool.
Get to work, baby. Get to work. See, I'm all bundled up. You got the T-shirt on and everything.
I mean, 79 degrees here right now.
Oh, God.
79.
I'm so jealous. 79's fan. Now that's beer drinking weather right there.
That's right. 60 at night. Man, guys are smoking cigars, drinking beer in the back out there, listening to music. It's great.
Oh, man, that's good stuff.
That
is good stuff. How you been?
Oh, man, I've been really good, actually. Been busy, but I've been really, really good. My son just made it to my oldest son actually made it to the second round of the football playoffs, so we got a game on Friday.
Nice.
So we're still in football season, which is always a good thing here. And then we got the other one playing golf and the other one playing football. But he's in 8th grade. They're done. But we're busy with that. And then we got the brewery. We're slammed. We got everything going on. This is our two biggest months. These months right here actually make your year. So for us, it's a big deal. It's a big time. And with all the record breaking the medals we've won, we've just picked up speed. It's been really, really good. That way we're having our best November ever right now. We're only halfway through it. So it's
very cool.
Awesome. Yep.
Then you say like a Dickens Fair coming through, like you get beer. And now look, Dickens Fair, beer, hand in hand.
Yep.
And you said you guys crush it during that time. Tell us a little bit about the fair and how like free roam kind of incorporates into it.
Yeah, so we're right on Main Street here in Bernie. So Bernie's is a little German town, right? And so they got a little tourist. People come outside San Antonio. It takes them about, depending on where you live in San Antonio, it could take you 20 to 30 minutes to get here. And so what they do on that Dickens Festival, it's a German festival, and it just represents obviously stuff going on over in Germany. And it's right after Thanksgiving. So it's Friday, Saturday. They shut down the streets at 3:00, and it's all open. And we're what's called the Bernie Mile anyway, so you can take beer and walk up and down Main Street here in Bernie. You don't have to drink inside, so you can take a wine and beer. Liquor you can't, but just wine and beer you can. So we have that, but then when they shut down the streets, now you've got the entire street, and there's 10,000 people that will walk these streets on Friday, and another 10,000 on Saturday, and we're right smack dab in the middle of it. So we've got our tab, we got our tabs going inside. It goes out our door across the street. We got our bar in the back that wraps around all the tables because it's that loaded. And then we have our tap trailer right outside and very front that goes across the street. And it's just, I don't even think they shut the tap down. I think all of them just stay pouring the entire time, and we just switch cups. It's pretty awesome. So we have a lot
weekend
of fun
at Bernie's, baby. Let's go.
That's what it is.
German
That's
festival, right. Some beer. All right, before we get to baseball, obviously I want to ask you about the Giants and World Series and the MVPs and the awards and all that. Let's get to the book a little bit and tell us about that. I know this is something, your podcast was called Built for the Storm podcast, and now you got the book and you're going to narrate the book. Just tell us a little bit about it, because I'm kind of familiar with the stories and some of the podcasts that you've done, but just tell everybody that isn't familiar with it what they can expect when they grab the book.
Yeah, so man, this is something that's been 5 years in the making. And well, actually, I'd say 3 years in the making. It happened to me 5 years ago. So the story is about my last 5 years, but it goes back even into baseball. Once I realized who I was. But I had a pretty terrible storm 5 years ago. A lot of people, I kept pretty quiet, but a lot of people found out now. I lost a 22-year marriage, and my kids were obviously there to see it. It was pretty tough on them, but you know what? It was what I learned through that storm. And one of the coolest things about why I called it Built for the Storm is because I was sitting in my therapist's office trying to handle a situation, because I don't believe in divorce. I still don't believe in divorce. And now I'm getting divorced. I was getting divorced. So it was a really hard thing on me in my family. And so I was in the therapist, and she looked at me one day and she goes, I want you to read this article. And she handed me an article, and I folded it up in my binder, and I started driving home. And she said, I want to talk about it in our next session. And I was going home to read it, and Matt Cain calls me. And he's like, hey, man, he was still playing for the Giants at the time. I was retired. And he said, hey, and I wasn't letting anybody in on anything. I was just trying to be quiet and kind of be to myself. And he said, I know you're going through a really tough time, man. And I just want to tell you, I love you. I don't know what's going on, but I know something's off. I just want to let you know of an article that our team sports psychologist gave all the players today, and I really want you to read it. And it was the same exact article as my therapist gave me, right?
Wow.
And it was on Buffalo, the Buffalo mentality, on how when storms come over the Rocky Mountains, Buffalo charge the storm. They run at them. And they run at them because they know when they run at it, it passes over them. Well, cows do the exact opposite. They run away from it. And when they run away from it, they get scattered. The little ones run off. The females get outside the bulls. The bulls can't protect them. The bulls get scattered. They get sick. And the predators start killing them because they're just they're just isolated and scattered. And that's where they go to die a lot of times, or get really sick. And the guy said, hence storms in life. When storms come at you, if you run from them, you'll die. You'll die emotionally, mentally. A lot of people, suicide rate right now is crazy. Physically, you'll die. And he said they're inevitable, whether they're relationship, whether they're business driven, whether they're disease, sickness, things happen. You can bring storms on yourself. Someone else can bring them upon you, or they just flat out come over the mountains. And she said, you got to be the buffalo, and you got to take that storm on, whatever it is, go at it. And so I learned so much from that. And then I was thinking about baseball and all the storms I got put in. And I realized I was built for storms. I'm built for it. We're all built for it. I was just built for it at a level that I knew that I could continue to be somebody. And I wanted to make sure of that. And so when I came in at that level, when I started dealing with all that and what I learned from it, I said, I'm going to write a book on this, but it's not a tell-all. It's not a book that's going to necessarily bash anybody. This book is for other people to know and to learn my story. I want my boys reading it. I want people to read about the story, but it's about knowing that you're all built for it. We are all built for this. We're all built to take these things on. We just have to know it, and we've got to get a herd around us to protect us. And what does that herd look like? So that's what this book is about. And it is a memoir for me, but it is what I want people to learn is my story can help you. It's not to, make anybody else feel bad or look bad. This story is to make sure that we all know we're built for storms. So I'm super excited about that.
How did you square divorce with your faith and logic? Like, logically, you probably felt like this isn't healthy, maybe for either of us. But your faith, as you said, you don't really believe in divorces. How did you kind of square that?
So what I did for me, what I ended up doing was I got mad at God. So I'm not distracted. I'm seeing that my battery's about to die on my computer. So I need to get someone in here to get a charger to me.
Oh my gosh, there we go. We're about ready to go zoop.
I know. I'm about to dump my beer again while we talk. It's super awesome. Because I have my plug-in. I just don't have my freaking charger. So what I learned for me, so with faith, one, I got super upset with God. And because I was like, man, this is not fair, right? But then I realized that God does, for me and my faith, how I view it is God, when you find God, that doesn't make you rich. That doesn't make you healthy. Diseases don't just leave the area. Not everything is like this easy road. When I found God, when what I used God for, and I was mad at him, but he let me be mad at him. He let me be upset with him. And he understood it. And he said, listen, you are going through this and you're going to come out the other side just fine. You're just going to need me. and he wept with me. I feel like he did. And so that's how I looked at it, right? I could get mad at him, but I didn't blame him. You know, I just was confused. But in the end, he showed me I needed him. I needed my family. I needed my mom and dad. I needed my sister. I needed friends, mentors. I needed all of that. And that's how I saw it. And that's how I saw what I needed. And so I was super important. So that was super important for me to talk about in the book, that I needed those things. And that's what I try to encourage everybody else. Don't ever take these storms alone. Buffaloes go in a herd, and that's what they do. And I'm super excited about people getting to hear this story. I talk about baseball, the storms and that. I talk about a meeting with an Indian chief and how he changed my life, and what he said to me literally changed my life. And so I talk about all those things. But in the end, I want people just to hear the fact that you're all built for it. We are built for storms. They will come, but we can do just fine. We can get through it. They're not fun. They're difficult, you know? And one of my favorite songs is by Gary Allan. And it says he called Storms. And in there, it says in that song, it says every storm runs out of rain. And that's what it's going to do. It'll run out of rain and it'll go away. It'll end. But if you run from storms, you'll eventually get out of that storm. But the next one's going to come, and you're going to run from that one too. Or you turn and you charge them and you take them on, and it passes over you. And it'll run out of rain because you leave the storm, and you leave it. But then you're going to figure out the next time you come out of storm, I know what I got to do. I know the people I need around me. I got this, and it's going to make me a better person. And that's kind of what I talk about in the book.
It's interesting too, because when I think of your career, I remember you talked about this a little bit, but I'm old enough to remember Jeremy's the entirety of his career. Kansas City, Rockies, Reds, Giants, if I'm missing one, but the Royals, you were a starter.
Royals. Yeah, Royals, Reds.
Well, no, the Royals you started with. Rockies. You were a starter.
Yep.
With the Royals. And you were a high draft pick. You were a starter. And I don't know if you talk about that in the book, but I could kind of see where that might be a storm, where it's like, God, I'm a starter in the show. This is great. And then all of a sudden, you're kind of you're not a starter. You're a bullpen. You're a guy coming out of the pen. You're a reliever. And you got to kind of wrestle with that mentally, as far as like, well, now this is my role. I got to accept this. And I got to be as good as I can at this. What was that battle kind of like? I mean, you're still in the big leagues. That's awesome. But, you know, I'm wondering if it feels a little bit like a demotion to go from a starter to a reliever.
You know, I thought that way. I thought it was going to be a demotion. But what I realized is that's how I was built. So I was built to basically to relieve. I really was. I didn't, for whatever reason, I didn't like the starter. I mean, I would, you know, I wouldn't have to fly coach if I was a reliever. but I tell you, I'll be honest with you, like as a starter, you know, like they prepare for their one day. They prepare for their one day, and then if they don't do well, they got it. I didn't like that. I didn't like not knowing when I was going to pitch. I wanted to know, I liked not knowing when I was going to pitch. For whatever reason, it didn't frazzle me. And then I figured out that, man, I don't know what it is about the fight or flight, but when I'm backed into a corner, when I'm backed, like I do better. But when I'm up 10-0 or it's a 0-0 game and it's like the first inning and I got plenty of time, I don't know. I just don't get into it. I just don't get into it like I am when I get in that game, in that seventh inning, guys on base, guys maybe even, you know, I might have inherited runners. I got to get out of a jam, and I can throw the whole kitchen sink at you. But there's that intensity of saying, I have a way to do this. I have a way I can get out of this, and they need me. And I can save a situation. And for whatever reason, that made it better for me when I had to deal with those kind of storms. Well, I'm going to plug this computer in.
Yeah, go ahead. Knock it out. We're just going to look at Jeremy's cans of beers in the background and his glasses. And
That's right. That's right.
Unfortunately, you are blocking, which is fine because you're centered up nicely. But you're blocking one of the coolest logos.
That's right.
In the beer business. I mean, the beer business is really cool, but that one, the buffalo with the fucking the hop head buffalo is really
it's awesome.
Really sweet.
And I run with that logo, man. I put it on everything. Man. People think I'm crazy.
As you should.
I put a magnet on the side of my door. I love it. It's freaking awesome. No, but you know what? What I learned in storms, that's part of what I wrote in the book. Like for me, I got brought into storms a lot of times, right? 2-1 ball game, guys on base, whatever. I got brought into that. And what happened when I got brought into it is it was like, well, now you're in it. So now you got to handle it. And you can't be scared and you can't run from it. And you are in it. And I really did. I flourished in that role. I felt needed in that role, I guess I should say. And if in feeling needed, that allowed me to compete a lot better. Where that fight or flight's a big deal, but man, sometimes in the first inning it's 0-0. You have options. You give up a run. You're like, all right, well, we got all these 6. I just couldn't lock it in like I did as a reliever, and I think that's what maybe made me feel more like you'll read about this Indian chief that he always knew I was a Buffalo and he had seen me pitch, and so it was just a cool story because he said that's how we all have seen you. And so for that, for me, I'm like, I can attest to that, and I can understand that, and I can teach my sons that concept. And we are in the long game, and these starters, they play for the long game. But for me, when a storm is hitting, you have to make decisions right away, or you kind of sit in them, you know? And for me, I looked at that as like, I'm running into this thing and I'm going to get us out of it any way, shape, or form. It's not always going to work out, but I'm going to try. And I'm going to be the guy that you can rely on. And that's kind of my personality. So that's why I really resonated with that.
For those that haven't picked up on it throughout the course of the first 10 or 15 minutes, or from listening to Jeremy and I talk forever and ever, Jeremy is very religious. I am zero religious. And
you just said friends. That in your tent about blew out of the freaking tent.
We're good. No. I'm gonna snatch this thing. You watch me. I'm built for this storm. Not necessarily awesome. But this storm I'm built for. I'm built for California storms, Jeremy.
That's right.
I'm not gonna be the dude in the Bahamas when the hurricane's rolling through there, standing outside. But it's interesting because like I just don't have any interest in it, and it never touched me when I was younger, and I was like, fine. But it's interesting because people think you have to not get along with people who philosophically see the world differently than you. And I say, no, that's not true at all. We can have way more in common than we don't, and that's usually what binds us. And it's a respect of understanding what people have that's different than you, and respecting that. And I've always respected people that have faith because of their commitment to it, how it guides them, how it takes them through the journey. I mean, I think that's great. How does it play in the locker room for you? Like, because there's a lot of guys in the locker room, and it's not just religious or not religious. It's a bunch of different guys, and these are all alphas pretty much. How does that all play out? How do you like, is it like what I said? Like, look, we got more in common than we don't. Like, we're not gonna bicker about stuff that we don't have in common. We're just gonna try to come here. It's baseball. Let's try to win the game. How did that all factor out?
Yeah,
factor in, I should say.
Yeah. I think it's like everything, right? In some ways, when it comes to being with family, you know, how I am in my faith, that's not necessarily where my mom and dad have a similar faith, but they have a different path, right? Or my sister.
Yeah.
You might even have someone in your family doesn't believe, like, at all.
Yep.
Like, that doesn't mean I don't hang out with them and have a beer or go to family vacations or reunions or whatever, you know, like, it's still family. And the way I look at it is I'm not here to convince you of anything. I just live my life. And if you have questions about my life, and I'm going to answer them. And if that makes sense to you, awesome. I'm not going to hide from it. I'm not going to run from it. I'm not necessarily going to sugarcoat it. But my biggest thing in baseball, what I did was I never gave my opinion about that unless they asked me. And I think that was part of it, man, because with some of the best conversations I've ever had about God, I had a conversation about God one time with Tim Lincecum. He's the same way. He at that time, I don't know where he's at now, but at that time he didn't have a faith. And I remember he was like, it was like, hey man, we have a great conversation. I had a beer with him, and a couple of guys looked at me on the team and was like, you can't drink beer. What do you mean I can't drink beer? I'm like, well, you're a Christian. There's a rule on that. someone
Dude,
forgot
crack
to tell
open
me
the
about,
Bible. Everybody's getting lit. You kidding me?
I don't understand. Like, what are you talking about? And they said, well, it says you can't drink. And I'm like, really? So you believe the Bible? And they're like, no. Well, you can't hold me to something you don't believe. Like, that doesn't happen. So
Gotcha.
how about we not? But you know what? But that's what we laughed about it, and it was good. It was great. That's how it is. Like, you just live your life, man. And my biggest situation, no matter what, man, you have to live in a way that people want to be around you, not want to be around you, not feel uncomfortable around you. How that doesn't work for me. So, man, I just hang out with guys and have a good time, and I laugh. If they ask my opinion, I give it to them from my perspective. If they don't ask my opinion, I don't give it to them. And that's how it works. And for me, that's how I did it. And I really enjoyed some of the conversations I got to have. Didn't try to convince anybody, just enjoyed it. And we took on storms the same way. I heard it up with them. It's not like, hey, man, if you're going to take on this storm in baseball, because baseball, we take a lot of them on. If you don't believe how I believe, I'm not joining your herd. That's not true. That's not what I'll do. So for me, it's just, hey, man, we're gonna get along because I just love hanging with you, man. So that's how we do it. So it's just great. There are people I didn't get along with because they just didn't jive with me or my personality or whatever, but that's fine. And
it happens. It's a team. I mean, you're not going to get along with everybody on your team. And look, I haven't cracked open the Bible ever, and I know they be drinking in the Bible. Okay. I know every Catholic, whatever, every religious fundraiser I go to for a school, they're crushing it. They're crushing wine. They're crushing beers. And go to Psalms 213 if there is such a thing. They're probably drinking. I'm just guessing.
You dropped Psalm 213 if there's such a thing. It's so good. Go to Habakkuk 9:2 or something.
Just go to somewhere. Be drinking. What were your thoughts with the Giants hiring Tony Vitello?
You know what? I did a podcast and I posted it and it never downloaded. And I called Tony. I'm like, Tony, it's not on YouTube. He's like, it didn't download. I'm like, bro, I just went on a whole freaking rant. Dang it. But it's saved. So it'll be coming out because I know I went on it. But and I posted, I actually got the Instagram one, so it copied it there. But you know what? Originally, I think I'm like several people in that where at first I'm like, oh, man. One, I trust Buster, so I know how he thinks in the sense of like he takes risks, but they're calculated, right? It's not like he just pulled it out of a hat and they're like, let's just hire a freaking college manager, So there's probably some calculation in there. And I sat back and I was like, my original thought was like, man, I just don't know because college baseball, even at that level, and Major League Baseball are completely different games. One, there's a lot more games in Major League Baseball. Two, you have a different role as a manager in Major League Baseball than in college, because if I got a junior in college that's a stud under scholarship, I can get into him a little bit and be like, hey, this is how you're going to do it. It's my way. Like you try to tell a $30 million player, like, this is how you're going to do it. He's going to look at you and be like, let me show you my paycheck. Let me show you my contract. And let me show you my role. It's probably not going to go down that way. So you got to get these guys trusting you to want to play your way. Right. And that's the real for me, test of leadership that he's going to have is how do I get the veterans on board with me to help me with the other guys, to get these guys to want to play with me, because I don't have the same pull. I'm going to go out there. I've heard it on a baseball field where a young manager comes up or a minor league guy's been a minor league career, comes and yells at an umpire and they like, hey, who are you? I don't know who you. He doesn't have that respect yet with these umpires. He doesn't have it. So he's going to have to gain that. So he's got to learn to lead a little differently at the get-go. And when I heard some of his interview when he first came, and they pretty much asked him a little bit about the risk, and I really appreciated his answer. He said, I know it's a risk. It's a big risk. It's a big risk for this organization, but it's also a big risk for me and my family. Like, it's a big risk. Like, but I'm willing to take that risk on. And that is where he kind of won me a little bit of the, okay, I might give this guy a shot, because he's at least saying, I'm going to take this on. And I understand that it is a risk. I know with the uphill battle. And then when came out was kind of, he's saying it was insulting and all those kind of things.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I'll be honest with you. The response from Vitello was even better. He's like, "Well, I hope he still takes my call because I really liked him." I looked up to him. I was like, "This guy's actually pretty good." Like, okay, like that's the kind of answers that a big leaguer needs to hear, and that'll help win.
Yeah.
Like, okay, he might have something here. So I'm gonna go into spring training. I talked to Buster a little bit. I'd love to go in there, and I believe I'll be going in there. I just want to pick the guy's brain and give him a shot, just in my own mentality. But right now, I think it's a calculated risk by Buster. I think he understands there's players that have played in the Giants that played under him. I think there's players that have vouched for him. I mean, hell, even Helton, he went on the Hall of Fame speech and said it. He actually said, "Hey man, Vitello," he named him. He was in the audience, said, one of the best. You're probably the best man, one of the best managers in baseball." Like, he actually vouched for him on the Hall of Fame speech. You got to give him something, So, I'm looking forward to see it, and if it works out, I mean, Buster's going to get that's going to be a hat off. If it doesn't work out, it's just going to be like anything else. Got to find something else, but the game's going to keep going.
It's interesting because I think being a manager, and if you could get your players to do these few things, you got to get them to understand that what they do is valuable to the team. Like, we need this for us to be successful. And you also need to get them to understand that what's good for them is also good for the team. And what's good for the team is ultimately going to be good for them. It's not either or, it's both of us. It's like what I'm asking you to do is going to be beneficial for us and beneficial for you. And then you build up that trust. And I think you build up that trust by talking to guys, getting to know guys, understanding where they're coming from, treating them like men. I think because the X's and O's, Jeremy, I think anybody at that level knows their X's and O's, at least good enough to be a manager. Like, I don't know, maybe you've played for managers. I never really played for a coach in basketball, a high level, that I go, this guy didn't know anything. I mean, they all know something. Some are a little better than others, but can they connect with the players? Can they get the players to buy in and want to sacrifice? Everyone sacrifice a little bit for the betterment of the team, because ultimately the betterment of the team works for the players. Look at you guys. Look at the contracts you guys got, the longevity you guys got. And this is nothing against your guys' talent, because you all were talented. But when you win, you're looked at differently, and you are valued a little bit differently, and you're valued a little bit more, and your contracts are a little bit more, and you get extensions and all that. So I think that's the key, is trying to get these players to understand, like, look, it's good. This is going to be good for you. You're going to have to sacrifice a little bit, but it's going to be good for you. And what good for you is good for the team, and we'll be great.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he had to have some baseball knowledge that's at another level. I mean, he had to interview for it, right? So he had to have that, and I do think he's going to be fine. And I mean, he's got coaches that have played with him that are coming in. I mean, there is something there. And you're right. The guy isn't like he's not like they pulled the guy off the 6U Little League field out here and said, "Go be a manager." He does know what he's doing, and he's played the game, and he gets how. And there's no doubt. I think he knows how to win. I think he does. It's just, how are you going to get these guys convinced? How are you going to do it? Are you going to do it? How are you going to do it through? How are you going to do it in spring training? Because you really have now until through spring training to get these guys convinced to go out and want to win for you. Because once the season starts, they're going to go out and play, but you don't need to get off to a slow start in our division. You don't. So, for me, you've got to figure out how to handle that. And I think he'll be fine. I do. I think if he can get some of these veteran guys on board, and I'm sure there's no doubt in my mind that he will go and be flying in. He's going to have a busy offseason talking to these guys and trying to connect with them. So, and try to convince them, when you come into camp, help me lead, get these guys. And I think there is some work that need to be done. I think there is some adjustments that need to be done. When I was in spring training there, I love the coaching staff. I think they did a great job, but I saw some stuff that I'm like, I don't know if I'm bored with some of how they're doing things, just because I'd rather them, I think some of their drills early, I think some of what they were doing on field stuff, like before the game, I was like, man, it's too lax, man. These guys they're not. And so I hope that steps up a little bit, but I'm definitely looking forward to what he can do. So
would it be a good sign or a bad sign if he shows up to spring training and the first thing he says was, "Oh, you guys use wooden bats?"
I would say that's a really bad sign.
Shit. I
Yeah.
want to go back. I want to go back to Tennessee.
Yeah. Or man, why isn't the bats making a ting sound? I
Yeah,
really don't
exactly. What is this wooden crap bullshit? What are we doing? What are we doing out here?
Yeah. What happens if they break?
Oh my god. You know, it's interesting. I didn't think come this offseason we'd be talking about the Giants' need for pitching. I thought we might be talking about the Giants' need to bolster the lineup. And look, could they use an extra one more bat? Maybe. But look, they need to spend a ton of money on Devers, on Adames, on Chapman. Like, you got what you got, okay? And that's good enough. It's good enough to win. I think if they get the bullpen, once Rodriguez comes back, Duvall's gone, the rest of the back end of the bullpen needs to tighten up a little bit. But I thought the starters were going to be good, right? Really, you got Webb and you got and you got Ray.
Yep.
And after that, the young guys just kind of they couldn't quite get over that hump, right? To be consistent. Like
the long game that I talked about earlier. They were good early, and now the second half, and now it's like, like that's where the consistency has got to come, right? That's where the consistency has to be, where it's like we have to find guys that can repeat the delivery, repeat the plan, and go out there and do it all the time. And if they're starting to get hit, make the adjustment. Webb got hit. He got hit early a few times, made an adjustment. Got hit early a little bit in the mid, made the adjustment. That's what's going to keep guys there. I do think that you have to have in this division right now, you got to have 3 bona fide start. I mean, like starters, like get out there. And they had it. They injuries, right? And you got to stay healthy. Succumb to injury. They had 3 guys that were going to go out there and they were doing pretty good. But I think that you got to go out and I think you have to go get another mainstream starter, a guy that is like, no, I know that at any given time, there's 2 out of 3 wins. We have a stopper. It eliminates some of these situations of like having a 10-game losing streak. Doesn't mean it won't happen, but eliminates the chances of if you have a 10-game losing streak, it's because we're not scoring or our bullpen are blowing games late, like stuff like that. But if you can have 3 really good starters that go out there, man, I mean, 3 out of 5, there's going to be a stopper at some point. Right. And it helps eliminate some of that stuff where you don't have prolonged situations and they can pitch big. And you do need a bullpen. I understand Rodriguez coming back, but he still wasn't set for me either. I didn't see enough of him. I want to I'm talking about a bona fide closer, a guy that goes out and goes, no, I've been slamming the door for like 5 or 6 years. I got it. You know, and so those kind of guys, I think you need to step up because I mean, for me, I get it. The Dodgers won how they won. I mean, whatever. I was pissed off about it, just like every other Giants fan was. But it was a great World Series. But the fact of the matter is, if you see it, it comes down to the bullpen, man. When you have a win in Game 7 in the 9th inning, and it can happen to anybody. But the reality of it is you got to these games are won and lost because the bullpen, whoever it is, I don't care if you have a starter at the end of the game, like Bum, he still came out of the bullpen. The bullpen's going to win those games. You have to have it. You have to have it. And for me, if I'm building it, and I truly believe Buster knows that, to be honest with you, he played in the era that the bullpen was what sealed deals for. I mean, he played in that era with us. So I think he knows that. The game's a little different now, I guess I would say with power, but I think there's enough guys out there and available that he can build a pretty good pitching staff to where teams come in. You're not beating them at home, period. Sorry. This ballpark's too tough and we got too good at pitching. That's how you build that team.
No, I thought the bullpen would be in good shape with Rodriguez, Walker, and Duvall at the end. Duvall, I was never going to trust him in the 9th inning.
Right.
It's 7th inning, okay. 8th, okay. 9th, no. They're just some guys, you get him to the 9th inning and things go haywire. He seemed to be one of those guys because he was good last year until they moved him to the closer role, and then he wasn't as good.
That's right.
Rodriguez was fantastic till he got hurt. And Walker is the one I couldn't figure out. Walker was really good the year before, and he just was a mess last year. I don't know if it's one of those everything's hard, so maybe he needs something a little bit softer to take him off that speed. I don't know. I have no idea what it was. I just know he wasn't as effective. So you went from 3 guys to 1 guy, and the 1 guy was hurt. By the end of the year, they had nobody at the end of the bullpen where I felt comfortable if they had a 1-2 run lead that they were going to close it down.
Yeah, one thing I saw in Walker is he so I didn't pitch. I know he's the right side, but he steps across his body really bad.
Yeah.
And I understand that's kind of how he pitches. But what I'm seeing is what happened to kind of me earlier in my reliever days is I was very erratic to where it's like I would paint, fireball off the freaking backstop, way outside, yank it back foot, throw a ball down the middle, whack. Right? Like, because all the hitters are waiting for is like, hey, the way he's pitching, he's got great stuff, guys. He's got good stuff. Don't try to swing at his good stuff. He because of how he pitches across his body, it's going to come down to the point where he's never going to be consistent. And until he finds a way to say, I've got to figure out how to be consistent here and hit my spots consistently to get these guys to sit there and like, I'm just going to wait it out until he's center because he's going to center cut me. And I'm just waiting for that one. I don't have to go after his pitch. I don't have to go after his breaking ball because he's going to be all over. And once he center cuts that ball, I'm going to hit it. And I think if he can get to where he can stay around the plate on the sides, pound the zone, get him to want to swing early and make him fish after your stuff, he'll be fine. But right now he's too erratic. He would miss by a lot. But when you step across your body, that's what happens. I mean, he's so far across, like your timing has to be absolutely perfect. And there's just I don't see that can actually, that's not consistent. That can't consistently happen at that.
Did we lose Jeremy? Did Jeremy go bye-bye? Did the battery finally give way? I don't know. Maybe the garbage man said, I've had enough. Let's move on. So we'll see if we can get Jeremy back. I know we got Brent Jones on deck anyway. But I did want to ask Jeremy about the MVP. I wanted to ask him about the challenge system for next year, get his thoughts on that. That would have been fun. I love talking to Jeremy. He's such a cool dude. He's got great vibes. Obviously, we have the beer thing in common. Both played sports. But it is interesting that he's very religious. I'm like not none. Like I don't even know. Is there a Psalms 213 or 123? I don't know. 213. I don't know. Maybe there is. Maybe there isn't. Who knows? Or Deuteronomy. You pull that one out. I think I saw that from a movie somewhere. Look at this guy. We go from Jeremy Affeldt to number 84, number one in our hearts, number 84 in our program. Our favorite tight end around these parts, Brent Jones. Are you a religious guy?
Yeah.
Are you? I didn't know. I did not know. I would have never known. Go ahead.
Well, let me tell you, I was part of the very first post-game prayer circle.
Really?
Did not.
No
exist.
way.
Did not exist.
Who initiated it?
It was a Monday night game against the New York Giants in 1990.
Okay.
And guys from the Giants and the 49ers were going to, have a post-game prayer for the first time. Man, everybody was afraid because nobody knew it was going to happen. League did not want it. So after the prayer, 2 days later, I came to my locker, said they're going to fine me $25,000. And I was like, what? I'm only making like 100. That's not good. They said, if you do it again. So we're like, holy crap, what do we do? And we did it the following week. And then they said they were going to fine our owner $1 million. So Guy McIntyre went and talked to Eddie DeBartolo, and Eddie said, forget those guys. I love it. You guys keep doing it. Good for you guys.
Now, how many were there the first time? So it's you and the Giants. How many guys? And did you do it at midfield?
Question. So you're going to laugh. So we're going to do it at midfield. and Ronnie Lott and Phil Simms get into it with like a million cameras. And there's a massive scrub, and they're like grabbing each other's face mask and screaming. So we kind of wandered down to like the 30, 35. And so I think there was like 6 guys.
6 guys.
Yeah.
That is so. Hey, look who we get. We had Jeremy Affeldt. I think Jeremy Affeldt is there. We got Brent Jones. Joe got everybody. Look at this. This is like insane.
Hey.
You know, obviously Brent. You know Jeremy. Jeremy, you know Brent.
Heck yeah, man. It's great to see you. I'm a complete mess on the podcast right now. Computers are dying. I can't find stuff. I'm dumping beer. It's awesome.
I mean, they brought in a football player to replace you. That's so sad.
You'll be way cooler than me. I'm over.
That's how bad the
complete mess.
I was telling Tom we got to get him to church. He laughed, and he said, "What?" And so I told him I was part of the first post-game prayer in history. Didn't exist.
Yes,
happened in 1990. You were just probably a young whippersnapper then.
I mean, I wasn't that young. I mean, I was 11, but whatever, it's fine.
Yeah, that's pretty young. 11.
Was LT in the prayer circle?
LT was not there. He was not in the.
Get out of here! I'm shocked.
Darn it.
So we used to have a guy that when I was at Arizona, he was our GA, and he was the guy that was responsible for walking around, making sure we were in class and all that kind of stuff. And it really sucked too. Like I got caught one time not going to class. You had to get up at 5:30 in the morning. You had to run wind sprints in the morning before you went to class. So it's like one of those things. You do it once, you're not doing it twice. But he always used to ask me, because he was very religious too. And he goes, Tom, he goes, why don't you come to church tomorrow? I go, when is that? Sunday? Is that a Sunday? I go, yeah, that's a Sunday. He goes, yeah. He goes, you got to come over. He goes, I go, yeah. I go, I would, but I go, look, I'm going to be super hungover, and I got a bunch of bets on these NFL games. I go, I can't, I don't want to watch the game, so I'm just not going to. I go, Sundays are bad for me during the football season. He goes, what about after the football season? I got NBA, got basketball. I go, it's good. Is it going to shut down or move anytime soon? I go, okay, it's always open for me. Maybe I'll see you there one of these days. I never went. But
did you say is it going to move anytime soon? Hey, is church going to switch days or? I figured
it's always there. No, we went when I was younger. You know, we did the whole Easter, Christmas deal with my mom. We went to it was like a pretty famous church down in LA or down in Long Beach. I think it was like a glass church.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't remember who did it, but he was a pretty famous pastor. Preacher, rabbi,
yeah, you
whatever they
passed
call
it on your way to San Diego from LA, I think.
It could, that could have been it. But it was one of those, go for Easter, go for Christmas, hear him singing and stuff, and that was pretty much it. My mom used to go occasionally. It just didn't grab me.
Oh man, these are T-shirts. I went to Easter and Christmas. I heard him singing stuff, and then my mom. Yeah.
My mom went for me.
It happens. What are you gonna do? Everything's not for everybody. Now, did they do that in baseball at all, where guys got together at the end of the games and did the prayer?
We didn't do it at the end of the game. I mean, we had baseball chapel. There were some guys that got together a little bit, before games and stuff like that, and prayed a little. But we didn't have the end of the game prayer. I mean, my son's in Friday Night Lights here. Those guys after the football game, they all merged into the middle of the field.
Do they?
My son led the last one. It was pretty cool on the field there. But yeah, a lot of it still happens. Football is a big deal with that scenario.
Yeah.
So
no,
yeah.
Well, heck, he's living in Texas with you.
Where the good guys are.
Where are you at? Where are you at in Texas?
I'm in South Lake.
Oh yeah, I'm in Bernie. I'm outside of San Antonio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're a little south of me.
Yeah, the hill country. Yeah, I like to see stuff. Where you're at, you can see for 9,000 miles. I want to see trees and stuff, man. So I like that. But I know where South Lake's at. Yep. Nope. I know where it's at.
So when you guys did the prayer circle, like how many were there? And who spoke? Did somebody say, "Hey, someone's got to speak here"? Who was the one that spoke at the prayer circle?
Great question. It might have been Bubba Paris.
Okay.
If I think back. And then ironically, I had a call a couple weeks later. Hey, Brent, this is Reggie White. You guys praying after games? I was like, how did this guy get my number? And I thought some of my friends were messing with me. Is this really Reggie White? It was.
Did Bubba go from Deuteronomy?
You know, the funny thing is, I know that you spelled Deuteronomy D-U-D-E.
Damn right I do. Damn right I do.
Oh.
You're darn
It's okay.
darn
He
right
dropped
I
Psalms
do.
3:1 on me the other day, earlier. I'm like, Psalms 3:1. That has nothing to do with it. I'm like, it's like, well, there's got to be a Psalms 3:1 around there.
I know there's got to be. If you look hard enough, it's got to be around there. It's got to be around there somewhere. Hey, let me ask you guys this, because I got both you guys here. Both of you guys are multiple-time champions. In fact, Brent, was it 3 Super Bowls for you or 4?
3.
3, and 3 for Jeremy. So you got the 2 3-time champions. I'll start with Brent, and then I'm going to go Jeremy. Talk about the grind to get through that, to get through from the beginning to the end of a championship season, and maybe even go to your first one, because I know the first ones are always kind of the unexpected ones. Although you guys won before. But talk about that. Talk about the first one, Brent, the mentality and going into the season and getting through the season and ultimately capping it off with a championship. And then I'd like to hear from Jeremy after that, too, about what it's like baseball. Go ahead, Brent.
So we thought we were going to be Super Bowl worthy in '88. We had high expectations in '87, and Anthony Carter came in and took us to task when a game we were heavily favored. We were the favorites to win the Super Bowl. So we got knocked out. Next year we came back and we started slow and our offense wasn't clicking, and we were 6-5. We were in Arizona. We were up 23-0. I think I told you this a few weeks ago. And they came back in the fourth quarter and scored 24 points. And it was ugly. It was a melee in the locker room after the game. Mr. D, Bill Walsh, it was as low as you can get because the expectations were so high. And the next week, Ronnie Lott had a players-only meeting. He kicked all the coaches out and basically looked around at everybody and said, you know, we're way too talented to suck like we're sucking. And I don't even care about what the coaches say anymore. Look around here, and we've got to hold each other accountable. We've got to do the things that we know are going to get us there. And we started game by game, methodically grinding through, doing stuff, crushing teams in a few games and hanging on for clutch victories and others. And then got all the way into the playoffs and had a repeat with the Vikings. We hammered them, went through, and then went to the Super Bowl. And that was the famous drive, the 92 drive where, we won it at the end. And I grew up playing baseball, and I can't even imagine 162 plus playoffs. It feels like forever. A football season felt like forever, but once you kind of got into week 10 or 11 or 12, it started to kind of create some momentum. It wasn't just a day in and day out grind. Like you could see a light at the end of the tunnel. And then of course the playoffs, anything can happen, but to finally be there standing at the very end, it felt spectacular.
Yeah.
To do
what was it like? What was it like for you guys, Jeremy? I mean, obviously you go back. The things I remember about that year are the Padres being ahead. I think we've lost Jeremy again. We got Jeremy in a dark screen. Oh, there he is. He's back.
I don't know what happened. I've been here the whole time. It's weird.
Are you touching stuff or what do you stop touching stuff?
Who knows? Who knows? I'm like a little kid. I play around stuff and all of a sudden stuff goes away. No,
but I remember the Padres leading for most of that season, right? And then we're wondering, are the Padres ever going to have a losing streak at some point? And they did, and it was at the perfect time. And you guys were able to capitalize. But talk about that season and that, not really leading the whole way, having to come from behind at the end and then using that momentum. Was there a turning point during the season where you could look back on and say that helped us out?
I think there was. I think when we traded Benji, because when we traded Benji to Texas and brought Buster up, it wasn't a situation. It was a situation where we were in between whether we were good or not good, and I think Sabian was like, hey, I don't know, let's start trading some guys and bringing up some busters and Bumgarners, because we're at a spot now where we might win, but we got to win with these guys long term. And so I think they took the risk, and knowing that if we didn't get to the playoffs, it's all right. We got some of these young guys that we want here for a while, getting some exposure to the big leagues, right? And I think, but it was when that trade happened, and I remember thinking, man, we're getting rid of Benji. Now I got Buster's got to catch me. I don't know if he stinks. What if he can't call a game?
Yeah.
I don't trust this situation. And we were on the bubble on where we were at with the other teams. And when Buster came in and just started rip. I think the first game he had like 3 hits and called a great game. And it got to a point within 4 weeks where I stood up and I'm like, we can give any rookie here can get, I know people can't haze anymore because everybody got butthurt about it, but everybody, no one can mess with everybody can mess with anybody. Like rookies, it doesn't matter except Buster. Nobody messing with Buster, because I'm not going to have anybody messing with him. And then I got to be out there on the mound when he's pissed off at somebody and he calls a breaking ball when I should throw a heater. Like, I need him freaking be locked in. So leave him alone. And he just did, and then Bumgarner came in and Bum was Bum. And all of a sudden we're like, who are these guys? And you felt like that. Hold on a second, like now we're feeling like we got some guys that we can play with a little bit. And then we pick up, some guys in September, and we just went off. I think we were down I think it was 8 games out or something like that going to
That
September.
sounds right.
And everybody's writing us off. Like, they're playing better, but there's no shot. You can't make it 8 games in September. And we did. And we came to that playoff, basically a playoff game. It really wasn't, but it was that one game, that very last game of the season. Johnny Sanchez hits a triple or something. I'm like, what the? It was just crazy, And would I have picked us to win the World Series if I'm outside our clubhouse? Absolutely not. Like, you got the Phillies that were just bashing the ball everywhere. You got Texas that was just hitting the ball everywhere. You had all these teams, but what we knew is that we could pitch. And I told guys, and there was Renteria, myself, Uribe. I don't think Burrow might have been in one at that time. I think there was only a handful of us that had been in a World Series before. And I remember telling them, I was like, listen, hey, it's about pitching. Once we get there, we just have to pitch. Let's execute our pitches and pitch to the holes, and we'll be fine. We've got the guys to do it. And that's how we took down Philly, and that's how we took down Texas. We just pitched, and it was a grind. And I can remember in the World Series, we were tired, man. Even signing the baseballs in the clubhouse wore me out. I'm like, I'm tired of signing baseballs right now. Like, it just, everything was, I'm trying to save everything I have for those moments right there. And because you're just exhausted. But when you get done, I'll tell you what, when Weeze punched out Cruz to end that game and you're running across that field, you feel like you're floating, man, because that's it. Like, you're the last team standing, and you just see the celebration. Not even in the players, grown men. Our coach is crying. Like, that's awesome for me. Like, they finally celebrated, and they're so excited. Rigetti, I watched that guy growing up pitch. We all knew. He walked up to me and asked me for my glove, and I'm like, "What for?" He's like, "I want you to sign that glove, and you're gonna give it to me because I appreciate, I respected what you did, and it's gonna mean a lot to me." I got to sign a glove for him. That was the most amazing thing from my own coach. That was awesome, and so
That's wow.
It was it's a surreal experience to win, and winning 3. I would have never called that either, but that first one was pretty crazy.
All right, before and I want to get to Jeremy, I want you to give everybody the information on your book, and I appreciate you joining us. The extended version, but I do want to. I do want to know. This is great. I love this. I do want to find out about the book, but both of you, I'll start with Brent. Give me your best hazing story, because you guys were in prime hazing area,
Mhm.
like especially Brent. That was
Yeah.
back when hazing wasn't even like frowned on a little bit. It was like, yeah, go ahead. Now, look, it could go overboard, but there's
Yeah.
still a place for doing stuff like that. Like everyone's got to earn their stripes a little bit. And I hate when people go, we can't do that at all. No, you just gotta kind of do it. It's like drinking. You can do it. Just be responsible with it.
Yeah.
I mean, don't be hitting dudes with bags of nickels, okay? That's probably not responsible. Like you want the guys to be able to play, but there is some fun way you can. I mean, you can still have fun with guys and mess with them, and you know the Bengay jock strap and stupid stuff like that. Yeah, that hurts, but it's supposed to hurt a little bit. But what do you guys remember about hazing? What do you remember, Brett?
Well, when I got to the Niners, Bill Walsh was 100% against it.
Oh, of course he was.
He did not want any of his rookies, much like Jeremy didn't want anybody picking on his catcher. He didn't want anybody jacked up mentally or afraid or getting into a fight or getting hurt. So it was completely banned, and the veterans were furious. But Bill had nothing to do with it. So there was nothing with the 49ers. But
okay, what about Pittsburgh?
Santa Clara.
Oh, Santa Clara. Okay, tell me about that.
My freshman year. So blindfold in a jock strap. They drive you a couple miles away from the university, probably 3 miles. They spent all week working on what they call the emulsion and dip, chew, spitting in it. But you name it, nasty stuff out of the kitchen. I'm sure guys were using the restroom. The worst. So you're blindfolded in a parking lot, and they start ladling the emulsion over you.
Oh,
right?
God.
Yeah. And then they take off your blindfold, and you're at the movie theaters at 8:00 at night with hundreds of people out in the parking lot. and you got to figure out how to get back to campus. It was brutal.
That's
brutal.
Rough. Like that's close to over the line. That's
close to over the line.
That's kind of
when
cool. That might
heyday.
actually be over the line. So you were in a jock strap with like covered in dip juice.
Sprinted across Stevens Creek Boulevard. I'm surprised nobody got run over by a car because it was brutal. You did not wait for the lights to change or anything. And immediately found the first house and immediately took their hose and hosed yourself off. People came outside like, "What are you doing?" And you just didn't care.
Dang.
Yeah, and they're chasing you with eggs and water balloons the whole way home.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's rough.
It's pretty rough.
That was a rough one. Did anybody cry?
I'm sure there were guys that cried.
Yeah.
Get them off the team.
Yeah, no,
they weren't built for the dip juice. They may have been built for the storm. They weren't built for the dip juice.
No.
What about you, Jeremy? In minor leagues or the major leagues?
No, big leagues. I didn't get dropped off in my jock strap, but thank God. But Paul Bird was my my mentor. He was the starter on the Royals at the time, and he took me under his wing. And so we had Kangaroo Court one time, and they dinged me for everything. I mean, and you can't fight it because if you fight it, you're automatically guilty. So as a rookie, so they dinged me for everything. Well, at the end, Bird's like, "Hey, I think discipline for Affeldt, instead of fining him, I think he should have a punishment." And I'm like, "Oh man, I don't know what that could possibly be. You guys have been brutal to me all year because they've been beating me up all year." And he's like, "All right." So he said, so he already had the concoction. He brought out this bag, and it was like whitey tighties, but it was not for men. It was like for like a 6-year-old. So you're trying to pull these whitey tighties up, and so you are sealed down, man, pretty good. And then he handed me a snorkel, and I'm like, "What?" He's like, "You got to put the snorkel on." And so I put this goggles and snorkel on, and then they walked me into the shower, and they sat me in a chair. And they walked in with one of those 5-gallon buckets of ice water, but it's the freaking small cube ice that's like super cold,
Yes.
So it's not like the chunks ice. It's like the ice and the water are like the same. right? So, and Bird's like, you cannot get out of the chair. Cannot get out of the chair. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, you have to stay in the chair the whole time or it's going to get worse. And I'm like, that time you're a rookie, like, oh man, they slow poured this water over me, like so slow. And I was literally about ready to pass out, right? Cause it was cold. And all of a sudden they go and they hit the hot water as fast as they could. And I freaking jumped up and Bird looked at me. He's like, bro, what are you doing? I'm like, it's hot. He's like, no, how did you sit in the chair that long? You almost passed out. I'm like, you said not to get out of the chair. He said, no one stays in the chair, bro. Like everybody gets out. Dude, I was so cold. It was 105 degrees on a game because it was in Kansas City. I was in a full-on sweatshirt and hat and on the bench. I was cold for like 2 days. I mean, I was like, it was so freaking cold. And one other one, I went to Seattle. And I was getting interviewed in Seattle, and because it was before the game, and I was back in my home state, and the guys didn't like that I was making them wait, and they always knew like I would go in my routine. They said, okay, he runs in, I put baby powder down the pants, make sure stuff's taken care of before I run out there.
Yep.
So I ran into the clubhouse as fast as I freaking could, and they didn't know which baby powder I was going to grab, so they undid all of the tops barely, and I went to dump the baby powder, the whole thing. The family pack, like the family style size, went down my pants. But I don't have any time to change because I have to be out there for the national anthem as a rookie. So I zipped up. I ran out there, and I'm sitting there, and the national anthem's going, and I can just feel it going down my legs, the whole powder. I mean, I hadn't sweated yet, so it's full on powder. So I have to sprint across the field, and my parents are there, my family's there, they're right on the line. Like, I'm running across the field, and the guys are laughing. I look behind me, and I'm not kidding you. I had a full-on smoke screen coming out of my ass. It was full-on coming out. And I have to sit there the whole game because I'm not allowed to leave the bullpen as a rookie. So I'm sitting there, and I've got it pouring out. Then they call me into the game in the 8th inning, and I come set, and the umpire is laughing. I can see him laughing, and I'm like, what? And I look down, and it's pouring out of my pants, and I had my blue, like my shoes were covered in baby powder as I was pitching, and it was like every time I'd hit, it'd be like, poof. And so Brent Main his mask is bouncing behind there because he's trying to call a game. I'm throwing freaking I'm facing Mike Cameron. He's laughing at me. I'm like, this is not okay. I'm just a full-on puffball the whole time in a game. And my it was so bad.
You should have done. You should have went out. You should have walked to home plate and relined the batter's box before you went and pitched. Just shook your leg and relined the batter's box.
Yeah. But you know what? My favorite one is I got Bumgarner once. Well, allegedly. Okay, this is all allegedly. This never really happened. Everything's allegedly. So allegedly, and Bum to this day says, I know you did it. And I'm like, allegedly. So he allegedly thinks I did it. We were in Arizona, and he kept going back in the clubhouse as a rookie and like eating ice cream during the game. And so like I was getting stretched to go because I was about ready to pitch in the game. So I was getting stretched, and he came back, kept coming in here all the time to eat ice cream. They're like, yeah. I'm like, okay. So I need to put him in his place a little bit. He's a rookie. He's feeling a little comfortable. So we go in there. He is his second year or something. So we got to go to play the Mets the next series. So we have to fly from Arizona to New York. So I allegedly we have ice. It's atomic bomb, which is another level of icy hot, right? So allegedly I put it in his underwear strap. I got gloves, and I put it in there perfect, like in his underwear strap. And then I put it in, and then allegedly I put it in his socks, and allegedly I put it inside his boots, right? So he sweats like a fiend on the plane. Well, atomic bomb activates on sweat. It doesn't activate. You have to sweat. So he gets on the plane, and I look over, and he's moving a lot. And I'm like, Bum, are you okay? He's like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm like, all right. And he keeps squirming, and he's pouring. Now he's pitted through his shirt. He's sweating. And I'm like, Bum, what is wrong with you? He's like, nothing. I'm like, all right. Well, he gets up to go to the bathroom, and he comes back, and he's like, did you do it? I go, do what? He's like, bro, I've got a heat rash all over my freaking midsection. Like my feet are on fire, and we got a 6.5-hour flight. He's like, I had to take my underwear off, man. I'm free balling on the plane with the jeans on. My freaking feet are killing me, and he can't get it off because it's that's like a lube, like you're not getting that off with just like wiping it off. He was the day I retired, he came up to me and he's like, just tell me you did it. Did what, bum? Tell me in 2010 that you lubed up my stuff on our way to New York. I said, I have no idea what you're talking about. He's like, bro, just tell me. I would not. It had bothered him for 7 years.
Oh, God. The two things that we'll never know. Jeremy will never confess to lubing up bum stuff. And
that's right. Allegedly that happened. And he just
allegedly. And Jeff Kent allegedly rode a motorcycle in Scottsdale.
That's right.
He didn't wash a truck because everybody jumps on their truck and washes a truck. I love that Jeff still holds on to that story. All right, before we let you go, tell everybody where they can grab the book.
If you go to jeremyaffeldt.com, you can buy the book. I sign everyone that you buy through my website. So if you buy it from the website, I'll sign everyone. And I'm excited for it. I hope you buy it. I'm really excited about this book. But you can go there, and then there's an Audible version of it, and I read it myself because I wanted to make sure that people knew it came directly from my mouth. So I did the Audible as well. So I'm excited for the book.
That's very, very cool. And is that your wine there too?
It is. It's Haven. My wife and I did a private label that came out the same day. It's very good. Unfortunately, I cannot send it anywhere because of TABC law, but if you come to the brewery, you can buy it. It's called Haven. So my wife and I did that one. It's really good.
Way to hawk the book and the wine. Way to a little pack. You know what? If you're in Texas, which I'm not, right. Look, it's perfect. It's a perfect Christmas gift. There you go. You got your book. You got your wine. You're good. You're taken care of. You're solid.
Heck
so, yeah. Let's do this again sometime. It's been far too long since I've had you on. This guy Todd wants to know if he's still boxing kangaroos in his backyard. We're not getting into the kangaroo, okay? We did that one. No, we're not doing it again. The kangaroo met his demise, and we're not going to say how. We're just going to move on from there. So the kangaroo is no longer there. That's all I will say.
Not available to box anymore.
Not available to do much of anything anymore. Hey, Jeremy, best of luck with the book. Congratulations. Really cool stuff. And again, let's do this again soon.
Heck yeah, man. Enjoy. Brent, good talking to you, man. Awesome.
Good story.
Thanks, Jeremy. Appreciate it, man.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Jeremy's great. I love Jeremy. He's the best. I love your hazing story. Good Lord, I never knew that.
That's a brutal hazing story. In fact, that was kind of the that was the end of the brutal hazing stories.
Golly. I mean, it's still better than getting hit with nickels. I think did the Saints do that? I'm trying to remember who did that.
I think it might have been, now that you say that, it might have been the Saints.
Yeah, where guys are running down the hallway of their hotel and guys would pop out because you could hide in those little door jams and pop out and like hit them with nickels. I'm like, who thought of that? Let's hit some dude with nickels. He's running by. Like, what do you think's going to happen? That's not funny. Hitting someone upside the head with nickels is not funny. Like yours is rough, but at least you're not getting hurt. Maybe mentally you are, but god dang, drive-in movie theater. You're right there at the drive-in movie theater in the jockstrap. Oh. And they just and the fact that you said emulsion makes it sound even worse. Like liquid sounds bad enough. Emulsion, I don't know why, just makes it sound 10 times worse.
It was just a huge pit of. They carried it in the back.
God, that's so gross. That is so. It's so gross.
You were battle tested. If you didn't quit and go home right then, you were gonna make it.
God dang, and no aspersions against your school. But you had to do that to play for Santa Clara? I'd be like, come on, what are we doing?
What are we?
Let's go. What do you think? We're Ohio State? We're pulling out this crap. Oh man. All right, let's get to the game yesterday. It was interesting because Berg and I were talking about this yesterday, and it was kind of an interesting game to talk about after the game. because I felt like it wasn't even so much what the Niners did. It was the Cardinals were so pathetic that they just, I mean, it was either turn the ball over or get a penalty or do something stupid. And the Niners took advantage. I mean, special teams was great. Sky Moore returning the kick to the first play from scrimmage touchdown. They go up 14-0. But I thought Purdy was really good, not great. McCaffrey was really good, not great. I mean, he's always really good.
Yep.
And the defense battled, but they gave up a ton of yards.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know what to make of that game. Like, I think, look, it's a win. Doesn't matter how you got it. The offense did good. The offense did well. But there wasn't anything right to like really like go, oh, that was amazing. It was just like, man, the Cardinals really sucked yesterday.
Yeah, they did. And you know what? It's about time we got a team that, just completely decomposed on the field because they were horrible.
That's a great word.
Everybody else, we had the Texans' best game of the season.
Yeah.
We had the Jaguars' best game probably. And it's like, okay, we earned one of those. But I will say this. If you look at the box score, you'd say the Cardinals trounced the Niners.
Yeah.
Possession, 200 more yards, better third down conversions. Like it was total control. It looked like, but we were very, very efficient offensively. We scored in the red zone. I gave Brock Purdy a B+. I thought he did a lot of good things.
Yeah.
I thought he floated a couple balls that he needed to drive. And I know he's got the arm strength. He's just getting back. And that's why, you gotta kind of get it going again. But I thought his accuracy outside of the first play of the game, I was like, holy crap, that was
well, look,
high and outside.
Purdy's gonna throw some throws that make you go, oh, that was close. That was close. Because he's really good at, but it's a dangerous throw, is over the linebacker and get down before the safety. Whoop, let me get up and get down. Get up and get down. And sometimes he had like 3 throws yesterday. They were like, ooh, but that's who Brock is. And I like that. I like that he gets, look, if you want to be safe, then your offense is only going to go so far. If you want to be check down Charlie and not take any risks whatsoever and give your offensive player receivers a chance, then you know what? Great. You can be efficient. The numbers will look okay. Completion percentage will look okay. Ultimately, you're going to get beat by a team who has a quarterback who's willing to take a few chances. And he's willing to take those chances. Now, they make you squirm in your seat a little bit, but I do like that. And I like that he's a little bit of a risk taker. But I agree with you. Like B+, whatever, however we got to grade. I thought he was good. It's just we've seen Brock better. The thing is, Brent, he didn't need to be that great because the Cardinals kept saying, we're going to suck today. You guys go ahead and take it.
You know what I like about Brock? I mean, I like a lot of things about Brock, but in key situations, I think in his mind, he's always thinking, I gotta know where Kittle is. And Mac, maybe his last game or so, he was looking for Kittle, but there were 2 or 3 games where Kittle was catching 1 or 2 passes, and Kittle's too much of a difference maker to not target him 7 or 8 times a game. And I think Brock and him obviously have that natural connection. And now he's got to start developing that with Ricky Pearsall as well, who only I think had 1 target, and he's coming back and getting going. So it was a perfect let's get healthy game, even though, man, we lost our linebacker. Like, what? Bethune is like, are you kidding me? And then I see Mucho is down with a hammy. Like, are you kidding me?
You can't. It's not a Niner game without an injury. It just isn't a Niner game without an injury. I thought they were going to run out of linebackers yesterday. Robinson came off, and then Gifford was laying on the ground. I'm like, what is happening? What is going? What? D. Winters is the last man standing out there. They're going to have to play like a 5-1-5 defense. Have one linebacker out there running around. But it just. I'm almost desensitized to it now.
I
It's
know,
like,
we are. Yeah.
golly, can they just catch a little bit of a break? And I almost feel like, because I don't really chart every other team, and I know it's the NFL, and I know players, guys get hurt. I can't imagine another team that's dealt. Maybe the Giants with Neighbors and now Scatterboo going out and Dart going out after that. But I don't chart everybody else's injuries. But I can't imagine another team's had as many injuries as the Niners and to significant people, because not only we talked about Warner and Bosa before, not only are they the two best defenders on the team, they're the two of the best in the league, and you lose them and it's rough. And then you just start losing everybody. Everybody else seems to be like, I lose. I was going to say something. I don't believe in jinxes, so I'll go ahead and say it. And if it happens, you guys can blame me. The offensive line seems to be relatively intact so far. So we'll see what happens. If it happens this week, go ahead. I'll take it. You blame me.
No,
Thanks for bringing that up, because we've had pretty much everything else. We've had good line, good running backs. Wide receivers been hurt. Tight ends been hurt. Defensive line just mutilated. Linebackers not great at all. And secondary hasn't been too bad in terms of injuries. But, I mean, when your kicker pops a hamstring, come on. How often does a kicker pop a hamstring?
I can't believe it.
I mean, are you serious?
They
finally get a kicker that can make a kick.
And I was like, no way.
No.
And I know he missed an extra point, but I don't care. Yeah, but
he hasn't missed a field goal.
The block's not on a kicker, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes they kick it low. Sometimes you need a wedge, you use a 1-iron, Brent. That's on you.
That's true.
You need to get, but he hasn't missed a field goal since he's been with the Niners.
You cannot. He can miss his next 10 kicks, and he's still better than what we had. So
poor Moody. Poor Moody. It was so bad for the Cardinals. He actually missed a 62-yard field goal. Oops, 15-yard penalty. Let's make it 47. I was like, they just could not get out of their own way. Gannon looked like he was about to blow a gasket.
It was brutal. I mean, it's almost impossible to have one team have that many penalties and the other team have like one. Like if you're a Cardinals and you're like, come on. I mean, and I saw a couple more for sure. They were holding Bryce Huff. I guarantee you 2 or 3 times where I was like, where's the flag?
Yeah.
But I didn't get, the great news about yesterday's game is I didn't get riled up at all, other than when Renardo Green grabbed the guy's face mask.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I was not happy, but he got in bigger trouble from the coaches than me yelling at him.
No doubt. I mean, he didn't play the rest of the series, and they showed him over there on the bench, and then they showed Shanahan walking away. Like, Shanahan went in for some more.
He did go in for some more.
He was like, "Oh wait, hold on, I'm not done."
Dumb SOB. Like, what are you?
Let me go over there. What would Bill Walsh say to you if you?
Oh my God!
Penalty.
Like it would be brutal if it was a bad penalty in a key situation. Yeah.
Now, would Bill Walsh do what all coaches do? Would it be different would the reaction from Bill Walsh to the player be different if it was you that committed the infraction or Jerry Rice that committed the infraction?
Oh, 1,000%. It'd be different.
So what would he say to you? What would he say to Rice?
He'd just look at Jerry. Hey, we've got to be smarter. For me, what the F are you thinking?
So it is.
I get it. I think I eventually made it to that. Maybe not JR status, but at least I didn't get the.
Yeah, you were up there. Like I was always down. I was always down there. Like I know what that feels like, and I accepted it. I'm like, hey, it's just the way it is. I mean, for those that say you treat everybody the same, they would never coach at the big time level. They just wouldn't. You can't treat every player the same. There are certain things you expect out of your team, professionalism, show up on time, all that kind of stuff. But as far as like, it's different. It's different. And I saw it from the ground up.
We had a practice one time And Mike Holmgren was our offensive coordinator, and we put in a new play. And I ran the route exactly like I was supposed to. I think JR was off a little bit on his. And I'm finishing my route, and he's screaming at me, Mike Holmgren. And I stopped and I said, "You're wrong." Oh my gosh, I should have never done that. He went crazy. And he was so mad. But I took a lot of pride in knowing what I was doing all the time. And he was furious. And the whole way back, I was walking back to the huddle. He was screaming at me. And Joe was standing behind him, like dancing and laughing, and just like pointing at me, like, "Hey, you look at that! You're an idiot!" And it made it even worse. And after practice, he came up to me and he said, "Hey, I'm sorry, that wasn't you. Jerry might have gone into the wrong lane or done something, but I knew you could handle the abuse."
Yep.
Which, like, of course, Jerry could handle the abuse, but somehow he just decided to yell at me when I was right. And the whole team, of course, when someone's getting yelled at, there's silence. But quietly, guys are smirking or laughing. And, of course, Joe was dancing around, having a heyday. And it just makes you more frustrated. Like, nobody knows who's right or wrong at the time. Joe did.
All right, who handled criticism the worst?
Good question. I don't know. Thinking about it, that was really one of the benefits. We had a lot of guys that were coachable. I'm trying to think anybody.
Did any of the coaches yell at Charles Haley?
Oh yeah.
Did they?
Yeah,
that would have been to me. I would have been like, "Yeah, you yell at Charles Haley. I don't want to yell at Charles Haley."
No, it's probably not usually a good idea, but
no, I would like.
Nobody yelled at Michael Carter. Nobody yelled at Michael Carter.
Nobody yelled at Michael Carter.
No. He could give you a look or just stare. He's such a good man, but when he was on the field, you were afraid of him.
Different dude.
Locker room. Yeah.
That
was a guy.
All right, let me ask you this, because I wanted to ask you and see if you'll get this, and I think you'll be close. 17 was the number of penalties the Cardinals had yesterday. It wasn't an NFL record. I'm going to give you one guess on each. How many penalties is the NFL record, and who has the NFL record? So what team is it? Remember, it's penalties. Yes. What team is it? How many?
Well, when you say penalties, there's only one team that comes to mind, the Oakland Raiders. And I would say the number is 19.
23.
Dang it! I should have guessed in the 20s. Think of that. That's 1/3 of the game. 1/3 of the plays in a game
for 200 yards.
Oh my God!
And they won.
That is awesome.
They beat Tampa Bay in 2016. I thought it was going to be like the 80s Raiders or something like that.
But it was the 80s Raiders.
But you know what? After I thought about it, I'm like, well, they didn't call a lot of stuff in the 80s. Like, dudes got away with murder. Like some of the stuff I see guys doing in the 80s.
Oh man,
those are like minimum misdemeanors.
Yeah,
I mean, they're absolutely assault. Like what the Raider DBs used to do to like Lynn Swann and Stallworth. I mean, it's like, good Lord, how do you let him get away with that crap? Dude's running across the middle and guys just close
armbar, cleater.
I'm like, that's not even football. What are we doing out there?
Oh man, you haven't lived till you had a great head slap. Bam! Your whole head's ringing. Like, oh.
Did anybody get you with one of those?
Oh yeah, a couple times.
Who?
Oh gosh, I think Reggie White got me with one time.
Did he really?
Yeah, it was probably
that must have felt good.
It did not feel good. Who else?
I would imagine you probably got cheap shot at a time or two going over the middle.
Are you kidding? Like half of my career was cheap shot.
Yeah, that's why you were in the 80s. What am I thinking? Of course, 80s, early 90s. That was like the heyday. Well, I shouldn't say the heyday. Back in the 60s and 70s, they used to just pick quarterbacks up and drop them on their head.
No. It was much more fun to watch a game like that.
It was more fun to watch it. Oh God. I mean, Terry Bradshaw, I forgot who dropped him on his head one time. I think it was a Cleveland Brown game, but oh my God. I mean, playing against guys like Lyle Alzado, it's like, what are we doing out here? There it is, Raider game, 23 for 200.
Wow.
Look at that, though.
That is unbelievable.
They actually outgained them. What was it? They had 600 yards in that game.
Holy crap. 40 for 59 passing.
That had to be Gannon, didn't it?
It had to be.
Or Gannon. Maybe not. Maybe Gannon was earlier than that. Derek Carr.
Oh, wow.
Derek Carr, 513 yards, 4 touchdowns. Murray, 48. Richard, 34. Wow. So they had over 600 yards of offense. And if I'm not mistaken, Tampa had what? I think 300? Look at Jameis Winston.
What a box score.
Yeah, if you're the coach, what do you tell your team? Like, yeah, they had 200 yards in penalties, and they still beat us. 626 to 270. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Somebody outgaining an NFL, like an NFL game. This is college stuff. Getting outgained by 350 yards.
That's brutal. Wow, what a game.
It's almost impossible. Like, that's generally what teams get in the NFL, like 350 to 390 yards or 320 to 390, right around in that little range. That's usually what teams get. They don't usually get outgained by 350 yards. Wow. That is that's something.
Go back and find that game.
You know what's interesting, Brent? I looked at this when Belichick was coaching. They were usually among the league leaders or close to it, top 10 in penalties. And I know teams, or you would think that penalties equate to bad football, but sometimes it could be aggressive football. Penalties don't equate to losses a lot of times, is what I'm saying. Like, you can be a team that can get penalized and still win, and still win big. I don't know how Walsh felt about penalties, and I'm sure there's different kinds, right? There's the pre-snap penalties where it's like, what are we doing out there? Can't we just concentrate? Exactly. And then there's the post-snap penalties.
Yeah. I mean, a hold or a questionable pass interference, those things happen. A good play. It's the Renardo Green type of penalty that would coaches lose their minds. Just the not thinking. It's about a personal battle over the team. 12 men on the field is a bad one for whoever the coach is. Like, if you're the defensive coach, of course you get like, what the hell are you guys doing? Don't you know how to get the team on the field? Special teams penalties are always annoying. It's like,
well, my favorite one is first and goal at the 1, false start.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I hate that one. Or a hold. It's like, what are you doing holding? Like, even if let's say they stop you.
Yeah.
Even for a 1-yard loss, it's now second and goal at the 2. You holding, it's now first and goal at the 11. Yeah. I hate those. I really hate.
Super frustrating.
I really hate the false start at the 1.
Yeah, you should almost always go on a quick count.
That's what I said. I told Steve this. I go, first sound
on the road. Yeah,
first sound, go. I think he said, well, they might know we're doing first sound too. I go, but they don't know when you're going to say it. They still got to react to first sound. You know when you're going to say first sound.
Yep.
But I don't know. Like, what do guys get upset? Like, football's kind of interesting, right? Because you're like, God. Like, when I'm sitting on the couch watching somebody do that, I'm like, oh, what a dumbass. What are you doing? But we've all done stupid stuff. So you don't want to, as a teammate, you don't want to get on him because you might be the next guy doing something stupid. And you don't want guys getting on you. But you also don't want to make it. But I hate this as well, Brian. I hate when somebody does something really stupid And then everybody comes and pats him on the butt like it's okay. Like, it's not okay. Can there be something in the middle there where we don't got to console him and like wipe his nose and say everything's going to be okay, and then, or berate him? Can't there just be something in the middle like, yo, man, tough, get him next time, just like walk away? I hate when we like DeMarcado, when he dropped the ball for the Cardinals, he had like people coming up to him, slapping him on the butt. It's like, fuck, he basically cost you the game. That play cost you the game.
Exactly.
It's like, why are we coddling these people? I guess it's 2025.
How about a kicker misses and they headbutt him? Like, hey, it's like, punch him in the head. Like, what are you kidding? Make that up. But really, it's kind of funny. Every once in a while, you'll see a teammate get frustrated with a guy, but unless it's a habitual dumb penalty, you kind of like, if a lineman keeps jumping 3 or 4 times a game, you're gonna Romanowski used to have a tendency to get a personal foul every now and then. It's like, dude, what are we like? This is a crucial situation. You can't get a personal foul right now. So there would be times where you'd be like, oh, come on, dude, you're smarter than that. But you get locked in on certain things, a matchup, a call, or whatever, and you're there, but you're not all the way there. And you go on a different snap, you go on 2, and you there's nothing worse because you can feel
no one else is moving.
Yeah.
Oh God dang it.
Bad feeling.
All right, brother. We'll let you go. Again, I just, there's some weeks there's a lot to break down. It didn't feel like there was a lot to break down.
The only breakdown was the Cardinals.
Oh my God, thank you.
And they came up short without their quarterback, and so even but we couldn't get a sack on Jacoby.
Bro, did you just you did that? You just did that.
I had to go one more.
It came up short.
Play the Cardinals again this year.
God dang it! God dang it!
Be back. I'm surprised Gannon's still the coach today. Has he gotten fired?
No, not that I know of.
Guy yet?
I would say after a performance like that, then I'm still not a big believer in firing coaches in season anyway, because you know what happens. The interim comes in, wins a few games, everybody likes him, and the owner's like, "Hey, let's hire the interim coach," and then come to find out he's shit.
Antonio.
I mean, Antonio Pierce, Raiders, Niners, Singletary, Raiders. It's happened a couple of times, so I don't like the interim coach. It's like the substitute teacher. Like, oh, we like this guy, let's hire him. I don't know if he can coach or not, and it's a totally different vibe to the season. Once the season's kind of over with, there's not a lot to play for in terms of playoffs. You can go out there and play loose and stuff, and maybe win a few games you're not supposed to. It's like a false sense of like, hey, we're good when you're not good. You just don't have any pressure on you to play anymore. So
I agree.
Anyway,
I agree. Well, surprised those guys are still coaching, but shouldn't be rooting for people to get fired, but they will be.
Yeah, I'm with you on both those counts. I don't root for people to get fired, but they probably are going to be. I would think. And keep up with the short jokes. Short people got no reason. Short people got no reason.
They can't see over the lineman. They can't find a receiver.
You're doing your own.
I'm just making it up.
You're making up your own lyrics. Have you ever seen a movie called Dewey Cox Walk Hard?
No, but I remember the name of that.
Go find that song at the end.
Okay.
Yeah. It starts off with "Sing us a song, you're the midget man." Sing a. It's very wrong. It's very wrong, but very funny. But very funny. And I'm sorry. I don't even know if you're supposed to use that to I don't know. Little people, I guess, is what you. That sounds even worse to me. That just sounds condescending. So I don't know. I don't know where we're going with this. Nowhere good. I can tell you that. I'm gonna blame Brent. I'm just gonna go. He's the one that did the Kyler Murray bid. I just kind of jumped on the back of it.
You did. That's okay.
I did.
You're good. We'll have some for next week.
Oh, I'm good. I'm absolutely good. So next week we might have to do. You want to do Tuesday next week because the game's Monday night?
Oh, I forgot the game was Monday night. Yeah,
I'll let you check your schedule.
Let's do it.
Okay, let's do it Tuesday because I won't have a game to talk about.
Yeah.
So and I got a Warrior game Monday. So
man,
I got to do the Warrior game. And
do we have good Thanksgiving games this year? There's nothing worse when there's bad matchups on Thanksgiving.
Well, we got KC Dallas.
That's okay.
We do have Packers Lions.
Okay, that's
a good one. And then we get one that was going to be good that isn't good. Unless Burrow comes back, we got Bengals Ravens.
Man,
if Burrow comes back, then okay, that might be. I've heard he might, but I still doubt. To me, that sounds like way too soon. But like, I get it. If Burrow was available, that would have been a fun game to watch. Burrow and Lamar Jackson, but I don't think they were looking for Flacco's return to Baltimore on Thanksgiving. On Thanksgiving.
No.
I'm pretty sure. Fucking Flacco still getting it done. Unbelievable.
Got to kind of respect it in a strange way.
Yep, there you go. What's the Bears Eagles? Oh yeah, that's the Black Friday game. Now that's one.
Yeah,
I didn't think much of, and now I'm thinking, oh, that's actually a pretty good game.
How are the Bears doing it?
I know Ben Johnson, the Caleb Williams is looking better, but look, they can run the ball. They went out in the offseason, got 3 interior offensive linemen.
Yeah,
and the defense is okay. I don't know the defense is great, but
they're not dominant, but they're good enough.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, go figure. That's the thing about the NFL schedule. You look at it at the beginning, and ultimately there's going to be games that you think are going to be good that suck, and there's going to be a few games that you thought, that sucks. They end up being good because the NFL has such turnover. You never know who's going to be good year to year. So I don't know how the Eagles keep getting it done, to be honest with you. They just, I mean, they swallowed up the Detroit offense last night. I mean, that was like almost varsity versus JV or freshman. They just ate their lunch. But God, wouldn't you think Philly's offense got to perk up a little bit to make another run at this thing?
It's got to. There's dysfunction there somewhere, and I can't. I mean, obviously, there's a few obvious points to hit, but yeah, it's not. I don't think any coordinator from Philly's getting hired.
No, I don't think so at all. And I like where the Niners are at. Like I think, you look at the schedule, and that Seattle game might be a massive game, the last game of the year. A lot to get to. Look, there's a lot of games before that. I understand that. But you start looking at the games where they're going to be favored, home against Carolina, home against Tennessee. They get the late bye week, which is nice for them. I think it helps kind of rejuvenate everybody. You go to the Browns, which won't be easy, but they got some games they can most certainly win. I think there's a path to get to 11 wins this year.
I totally agree. And then anything, but we're gonna have to stiffen up on D for sure.
I don't even know if that's possible though, Brent, with the injuries. Like, I think there's only the level they can get to isn't that high. And it's not just one or two guys, it's a collection of guys. Like I said, I get the whole next man up mentality. I mean, ultimately the next man up is going to be a hobo smoking a crack pipe. They're going to be like, fucking he's the next man up, but do we really want him on our football team? Not really. I don't even want that guy in my neighborhood. I certainly don't want him on my football team. The guy can't play. He doesn't even know where he's at half the time. Are you kidding me?
We don't need any more men up. We're good.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but there's a limit. There's a limit to that where it can't be every man and every position needs next man up. Like, you can next man up for a few positions here and there. You start getting to like 4 or 5 different positions. Like, okay, this is ridiculous. But hey, the goal is I would just like to see this team make the playoffs and then take a swing at it and see if the offense can get hot. They're not going to have any expectations this year with all the injuries they've had. So, I just
rule. We got to just score every time we touch the ball.
Yep, 41
down in our own territory.
41 a game will get it done. And if every team they play can commit 17 penalties, that'd be
we got a shot.
Mucho gracias, not mucho Pinheiro. Since we might not have mucho Pinheiro, which is just it's so sad. It's just sad. When your kicker's popping a hammy, it's like, what are we gonna do this year? What are we gonna do? Unbelievable. All right, brother. We'll have a good day. Dana doing good?
She's doing good. Getting ready.
Still waiting for that recipe.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. I'm looking for new stuff. So I know this week's going to be about. Do you guys go big for Thanksgiving?
Yeah, we go all in.
All right, we're going to talk about that next Tuesday. I want to know what
the spread. Got my grandson playing in Flag League Super Bowl at the high school stadium on Wednesday.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
He had three 60-yard touchdowns last week.
Did he really?
Yeah, he's
That's so good.
The grandkids can play, and so it's hilarious. They're like going off.
Isn't it the best? It's the best and the most nerve-wracking watching your kids and grandkids play. It's much easier to play, and I think you would agree with me. It's much easier to play ourselves than it is to watch.
I 100% agree, and I joke to my daughter. I'm like, you're gonna have to pull it back a little bit, or you're not going to survive all the years of games.
And there's a lot of them. There is a lot of them. Well, tell the family said hi and have a great weekend. We'll talk to you next Tuesday. Thanks, Brent. Appreciate it, man. All right, man. See you, man. That was I gotta say that was a lot of fun having Brent and Jeremy on at the same time. That was pretty cool. Had two champs on, so I enjoyed that. Enjoyed that very much. There's a couple more questions I wanted to ask Jeremy, but his internet connection disengaged there for a little bit, and by the time he popped back on, Brent was on. And nice job by Ogden and Max getting that done. That was cool. I like that. We don't get to do that very often. Every once in a while, it would happen like that on the radio show. We'd get two guests together and just kind of let them go. And so I could have done that for another hour or two, talking to those guys about their careers and stuff like that. So fun stuff. All right, we'll be back at you probably Wednesday for a little bit. And then we'll figure out when Steve's going to be this week. I'll get a beat on when that's going to be. I'll ask him. I think they got a game Tuesday, Wednesday, so it could be Thursday. I think they're off today, Monday, Magic, Tuesday, Heat, and then back home. And they play Friday. So maybe Thursday evening. So we'll let you know what the show's going to be. We'll just let you know what we're doing this week. How about that? Check on Twitter. We'll let you know. I guess that's about it. All right. Well, thanks for joining. Appreciate it. Like, subscribe if you would like to. And we'll be back at you Wednesday or Thursday. We'll find out. Once I hear from the head coach of the Warriors, we'll figure it out, and we will when we know, you'll know. We'll let you know. So it's a little chilly out here, I gotta say. It was fun doing the show out here. Thought the wind was gonna blow me away a couple times, but I'm built for the storm. See ya.